Facebook Live freaks me out, and I'm a social media trainer. So if I'm scared of Facebook Live and live streaming in general, then probably a lot of other people are too. So I reached out to one of my connections, John Zimmer, and asked for advice. John knows about speaking in high pressure situations. He's a former attorney with the World Health Organization and United Nations. He's a TEDx speaker and a 9-time Toastmasters European champion. Here's what John had to say about Facebook Live and live streaming to help get us in the right mindset, prepare for a live event, and put our best foot forward. So John, from a public speaking standpoint, why do you think people are scared of Facebook Live or live streaming or really online presentations in general?
I think the nerves come for the same reason that they come when we're presenting live on stage in person. People are afraid of being judged. People are afraid of making a mistake, looking silly, forgetting what they were going to say. It's all of those same reasons, but then when it comes to live streaming or an online meeting or presentation, we have to layer on top all of the technology, the camera, the lighting, the microphone, all the connections, all of that. So these are some of the additional reasons that make live streaming, I think, a bit of a stressful event for some people.
Yeah, and I know technology stresses me out, and those of you who are seeing this video, you didn't see what happened before we started recording this. We actually went through maybe 75% of our interview. John was
It was amazing.
It was amazing. I basically we're going through the whole interview, and then I realized I forgot to press record.
Oh, no.
Gosh. John's going to give you like so many tips. You're going to love it. So what can people do to overcome that mindset with the nerves and feeling like the world is going to collapse on them if something goes wrong or they're judged during a Facebook Live or live stream or anything of that nature?
There's a couple of things. First, let's start with your preparation. Years ago, when I was in Canada working in a big law firm in Toronto, our law firm represented the Bata Shoe Company, a very large, famous worldwide shoe company on a major environmental law case. It was in the news. There were journalists in the courtroom every day. There was going to be a month-long trial, and it was a lot of pressure. And I always remember sitting at counsel table. I was junior counsel on the team, and the senior counsel, he leaned over just before the judge came in on the first day, and he said, "Now look, we're going to work hard this month. It's going to be long days, and we're going to be working a lot, but we've prepared. We've done everything we've had to do up until this point, and so now we should enjoy this, because if you're not doing what you're enjoying, you should be doing something else." And I've always remembered that. And I tell this to my clients when they're doing when they have a big speech or presentation to give. If you prepare well, if you put in the time to prepare something that is going to be of value for the audience, you should feel good, because really, what more can you have done? What more can you have done up until that point? So that's the first thing. Second thing, when people come to hear you speak, live stream, in person, wherever, they are going to be on your side. They're going to want you to do well. I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, people are generally decent and they like to see other people do well. Yeah. But the second reason is, if I'm in the audience, I want you to do well for me. I'm giving you something that I can never get back. I am giving you my time, whether it's an hour, a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. And in return, I want something of value. So I'm on your side. I want you to do well.
By the way, John has an awesome video about how to consider time when you're preparing for any type of presentation, and I'm going to provide a link in the description.
Third thing I would say, if you speak long enough, if you do enough live streaming, YouTube videoing, whatever, you're going to make mistakes. Like you might forget to hit the record. You might forget to hit the record button, just for example.
Yeah, you have no idea what the mistakes I'm dealing with today on another video. Like, it's mistakes every day.
I've made mistakes and you've made mistakes.
Yes.
And the thing is, right now today, who out there in the real world is thinking, oh man, I remember that speech Brooke gave last year where she forgot what she wanted to say for about 5 seconds and she had to really think? Nobody.
And usually if you're pausing or you think you're stuttering, a lot of times people don't realize you're actually going through this internal struggle. They're like, I mean, how many times have you heard people say, oh, I felt nervous on stage, but you're like, oh, I didn't even know you were nervous.
Exactly.
I've heard that.
When you go out for a dinner, for example, in a restaurant with a group of friends or family, and you're talking and they're asking you questions and you're responding, you're not thinking, oh, what do I do with my hands? How do I look? What's going on? It's because you're in the moment. You're focused on the people with whom you are interacting. Too often when people get up on stage, the focus is this way. Why is he on his phone? Doesn't he like what I'm saying?
Right.
What do I do with my hands? How does my hair look? Or what's left of my hair look? I tell people you will notice a major step forward in your speaking when you shift the lens and focus outwards, because then you forget about yourself and everything just becomes a whole lot more natural.
Are there any other suggestions you might be able to make about like how to make sure you feel prepared or are prepared before you do that live event?
Sure, and we can look at it from the perspective, first of all, of the subject matter, what you're going to talk about, and then some other ideas as well. In terms of your subject matter, as I try to distill my message into one sentence, and I try and keep the sentence to 12 words or less. If you can crystallize your message in a short sentence, it means the message is clear in your mind. And that means there's a greater chance that it's going to be clearer in the minds of your audience. Have you ever been in the audience and listening to somebody, and at some point you've asked yourself, where is she going with this? Or what's his point?
I have felt that way. The idea of having a singular message, which I think is a brilliant tip, it puts less pressure on the presenter because you can easily weed out stuff that doesn't need to be there, and you don't feel like you have to have a novel in your head. You could just focus on the main point.
Absolutely. And once you've got your key message, then as you build out what you're going to talk about, should I add this statistic or graph or slide or story or whatever, all you have to do is hold it up against the message and ask yourself, does this support the message?
Yes.
And if it does, it can stay. And if it doesn't, then you leave that for another time. The flip side, of course, of the message is that you have to have at least one reason why the audience should care, because it's never about you or me as a speaker. It's always about the audience. Once people realize that it's always about the audience and that's where the focus should be, things go a whole lot easier. In terms of things that you can actually do to feel more comfortable in the moment, I always warm up physically before a live stream or a webinar. And I did this before logging on here with you. I will do some exercises. I will do 10 push-ups. I will bounce lightly up and down on my toes. I will rotate my arms and shoulders, do some deep breathing exercises so I feel energy when I sit down. That transmits through the microphone and through the camera. Now, a caution, I'm not saying exercise to the point where you're dripping with sweat when you come on screen.
Right.
To warm up a bit before is something not enough people do.
I tend to emotionally eat before I record. So I think your tip is probably more positive and constructive. So
you warm up and you burn calories at the same time. Beyond that, I have water, always handy. 2 tips about water. Number 1, flat water, because bubbles tend to come back up. Number 2, room temperature, because cold water will constrict the vocal cords. People who don't like to drink water, tea can help as long as it's not too hot. You can put a little honey in it. Just nothing with caffeine or obviously alcohol or bubbles.
And during the actual live event, is there anything else that people can do to put their best foot forward?
A few things. If there's just one thing that I would like to see more people do, it would be to talk here to the camera. I would love now I can see you, because now I'm looking at my screen and I can see you, your face, and you're engaging. And it's like how we talk to people on the street. When we meet with people, we look at them. But right now, you and everybody on this recording is seeing me looking down, and that's not great. And so you've got to lift your gaze back here. Now, it's not easy to talk to the dead fisheye of a camera lens. So I'm going to give what I think is the best analog tip in a digital world. You get a Post-it note, you put an arrow on it, and you stick it to the side of your camera. Now, some people like to use a picture of their family behind or googly eyes. Whatever floats your boat, do that. When I first started, that big yellow Post-it note would always catch my attention and it would draw my eyes back up to the camera. I don't need it now, but I used it for about a month steadily, practicing talking to the camera. And it makes such a big difference.
That's a great, great, great tip. Any other tips or guidelines that you can think of to make the whole live experience better?
Again, in terms of spatial things, I mean, I like, people have different preferences. I like to have just a little bit of space between the top of my head and the screen. And remember, you've got the four corners of the screen, so you can come in, you can move, you can gesture as well. If people see your head, shoulders, top of your chest, your hands, I think that's great because it allows you a bit of flexibility with moving. Of course, you can't move like you do on stage, but that's okay. Good lighting from the front, a nice microphone helps, certainly. Camera at eye level, simple background, nothing distracting, phone on mute. All these little things, they all add up to make a good impression. The one non-technical tip I would say is the more interactive you can make your live stream or your online presentation, the better it is, because we are all, after 18 months, we're all a little bit zoomed out. There's the whole Zoom fatigue. So if you can make it interactive, you can pause after each segment of your presentation, take questions, refer to people by name. All these things will make a difference. And I like to chunk my presentations more or less in blocks of 10 minutes or so. There's a fascinating book I read a few years ago. It's called Brain Rules. It's by a man named John Medina, and it's a fascinating book. The chapter that really caught my attention was all about how long we can concentrate on one thing before our attention starts to drop. It's about 10 to 12 minutes. And I've done some work up in Finland with a brain scientist, and she's confirmed the same thing. This is something people can keep in mind, especially if you're speaking for half hour or so. If you chunk your presentation into 3 parts of 10 or 12 minutes each, that could be some way to keep the audience engaged more.
That's fantastic. And also not from the first interview. So we also have gone farther than we got from the first interview. So yay. Anything else?
Some people have trouble with silence, with pausing. So practice pausing. You as a speaker look confident. You're not going to be rushed. You look very good. But more importantly, you are giving the audience a chance to think about what you've just said.
Yeah.
And because in many cases, the audience's knowledge about the topic is not going to be at the same level as your knowledge. So you need to let them have that little bit of time just to digest mentally what you've said and catch up. So it's big. It's very important. This whole journey to become a better speaker, whether it's through live streaming, online webinars, in person, whatever, it's a lifetime journey. And it's for all of us. And I'm on the same journey as everybody else.
Oh yeah.
We may be at different points along the journey, but we're still on the same journey. So my advice would be, especially when it comes to communicating, if there's something you want to work on, usually people say, oh, I want to work on this, and this, many different things. My advice is pick one thing.
Yes.
Get comfortable with that.
You have provided so many insights. I took away a lot from this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. If we erase this recording, we can try it a third time.
Yes, we just might. Now that you're more prepared for Facebook Live and live streaming, your next step is to learn how to improve pre-recorded video for social media. So watch this video in the top right corner. I'm going to show you how I improve the stats on my videos by 1,000%. Literally. Thanks, and see you in the next video.